What's good, beautiful people? If you're new here, my name is Shaw, and I just want to share with you guys just the road to discovery of finding true love. If this is your first time tuning in, please do me a favor and go watch my last 3 videos in order so then you can be able to keep up with references made throughout my videos. That's going to be down in the description box below for you guys. Now, as for the rest of us, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. So, this job that the Lord led me to was definitely not my first choice at all. If I'm being honest with you guys, I would have never picked it just due to the fact that at that moment in time, I was pretty much looking for something more stable, and this job only offered commission, not salary, which was not something that I felt like was ideal given my current situation at that time. So, after the interview, I made up my mind in my head, like, yeah, I ain't going back to this job, whether they could call me or not, and as I'm going to the parking garage to get into my car to go to this next interview that I had lined up that day already, right before I can even get into my car, the Holy Spirit stopped me right there and told me straight up that you ain't going to that interview. And I'm just standing there like, huh? What do you mean I'm not going to this next interview? Like, at this point, he literally repeated himself again and said, you're not going to that interview. Simple as that. And I wouldn't even say I was going back and forth with the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit doesn't go back and forth with me. But at that point, I was really just going back and forth with myself. But of course, in my head, I'm thinking I'm going back and forth with the Holy Spirit, and just really just trying to understand why in the world wouldn't I go to this next interview or any other interviews that I had lined up. You can't possibly think that I'm gonna stay and work with this job, not given my current situation at that time. It makes no sense for me. This doesn't guarantee a stable income, much less guarantee money to be made at all. So why would I want to do that? So mind you, y'all, I'm going on this rant, and as soon as I'm done, and the Holy Spirit, what's so good about the Holy Spirit is, like, he'll let you throw your little tantrum. He'll let you bicker away and, like, do all this extra stuff. And then the most beautiful thing at the end of it all, every single time this may happen, like, he always comes back. You'll think he'll come back with the rod of iron, or like with the belt, like when you were bad as a jit and your parents will come at you with a belt because, you feel me, you either talk back or whatever it is, tantrum that you did. God is the complete opposite of that. He literally, in the most calmest and stillest voice, responded back to me and pretty much just told me that, don't worry, my love, like, they're gonna call you back later on today to tell you that you got the job. Literally, that was it. And in every situation where sometimes he probably tells me or shows me something that I probably don't agree with at that moment, after I throw my little tantrum, he always comes back like, you're done. Like, did you get that all out your system? Like, I really hope you did, because guess what? My answer still is the same. So in that moment, after I got that word from him that that's what he wanted me to do, I pretty much just got in my car, a bit shaken, confused, and admittedly upset. But what really made me decide that I was gonna go and listen to what he had to say and not my own is because, for me, when I was thinking about it, of what was really going on, I realized that at the end of the day, that I don't have the full answer. I don't have the full picture. I just have bits and pieces of things, and just a piece of the puzzle. But God, he's the one that knows everything. He sees the whole thing. He knows what's gonna happen, to the death of me. So it's like, why wouldn't I trust the man that actually knows what's happening and going on to lead me and direct me correctly? You get what I'm trying to say? I've already gotten this far with you. I'm just gonna continue on going with this journey with him. So that's pretty much what I did. And soon enough, later on that day, while I was at the library, I did get the call from them telling me that I got the job. So at this point, I'm on cloud 9, because I'm like, what in the world just happened? So first thing I did was call up my homegirl, and I told her everything from like the beginning to the interview to in a parking lot, and how God gave me this word, and how like just a couple minutes ago they really did just call me back. And we're both just kind of like just in awe and shocked at how God really just kept his word like that. So from there, that's when my faith in God just started to continue on growing. And for those of you that are wondering, this is a business marketing company that I applied to. The manager that hired me, he was basically a fairly new owner that was trying to grow and expand his already growing team at that time. And we were all under the regional consultant, who also went through the same marketing program as well. And basically what I applied to was basically the management program that they have for those that were interested in growing and starting their own marketing team. But before I continue, because I already know like all the rumors and skeptics out there, y'all already gonna be saying, oh yeah, that was a scam, I got into a pyramid scheme, this, that, and the third. I do want to clarify some things first. That number one, are there companies out there that have whatever big grand scheme going on behind closed doors? Yes there are. Now, the only reason why I'm going to stand behind this company that God led me to not being one of those companies, is due to the fact that they were transparent with everything that they did. That was really like the big takeaway for me, with knowing like, okay, this thing is for real. Before I even continue, because I already know a lot of you guys gonna just be saying, oh, I just want to defend them just because I this, that, and but whatever. And just for the record, I am currently right now no way, shape, or form affiliated or associated with this company anymore, due to reasons that I would not get into. Those of you that are close around me that really know what went down and happened, what's up, despite what may be going around saying otherwise. But there's a reason why I quit that job, but it had nothing to do with whether or not they were legit or not. It was something that was completely different that I'm not gonna get into right now at this moment. But as far as the flaws they had going on, I definitely do love giving credit when it's due, and I'm not about to bash anything or anybody for no reason. But they are, well, from what I was exposed to, they were 100% legit. But definitely this was definitely new territory for me. And the only reason why I say that, because again, if you watched my last video, you knew that I admitted on how like I struggled with this job in the beginning, because I really did. I have experience working with sales, but not that kind of sales, like the regular 9-to-5 jobs that I grew up having to get into, was definitely just being a sales rep. And the only thing that they kind of push on you really just customer service, like customers is always right. But those of you who work 9-to-5, y'all know exactly like that is not true. You feel me? And especially some customers will definitely try to take that to the head and think that it's fine to do whatever that they want to, but you got to know how to handle and deal with those type of customers. But we're not even about to get into that conversation, because that's a whole nother topic. But this was definitely new territory for me. Therefore, I had no clue as to how in the world or where to start with trying to get a business owner to buy a product or service from like this company that we worked with. It's not until my manager switched over to instead of working for profit companies, he switched over to working with non-profit companies and organizations, is when I started doing better tremendously. And is with their just working with like different organizations that genuinely helped families and kids that didn't have any food, water, or shelter, or whether it was then working and partnering with like an organization that just specified in trying to help the environment or animals. Like, is when God truly started to show me what I was really destined to do in the long run, and be a part of something bigger that really did matter in the world. But that I can definitely say Working with those companies really helped shape and open my mind to that. But that's not this big discovery that I'm talking about though, which now leads me on to my confession. I have to confess something that I'm not proud of, but it is indeed the truth. I have denied me being full Haitian for honestly as long as I can remember. I'm gonna let that sink in. Yup, that's me. I've definitely been ashamed of who my parents was, denied my family, but most sadly just been lying and deceiving myself. I'll definitely get into another video that goes more in depth of the beginning and cause of this delusionment, but for a while now I've been wearing this mask that I felt like I had to wear because that's just where I felt safe and free from living true to who I really was. And denying who I was enabled me to not have to truly open up about myself. When I looked in the mirror, I was horrified by what I seen, and not just physically, but really internally. And so this was just my way out of having to face that reality by deciding every single day that I was going to wake up and pretend to be somebody that I was not because I didn't like the version of me that was indeed me. Now, what does this confession have to do with the job that the Lord led me to? Well, despite the flaws that this job has, and if we're being honest, I guess every job have their flaws, there was a lot of good that came out of it too, especially if you know how to look for it. And one of the main things that they used to push on us, especially for those individuals that was in their management program, was in order to be truly successful in running your own team, you had to make sure that you were good within yourself first. And the reason why I like this concept so much, because if you really think about it, how you're going to be able to run and manage your own company, manage other individuals, if you can't even manage yourself, and this don't even need to be applied within the work setting. This context can be applied within any aspect within your life if you really think about it. Same thing goes for like how you gonna be able to be a best version of yourself to those individuals that's closest around you, whether it's your homegirl, whether it's your mama, whether it's your daughter, whether it's your man or your wife, and you can even make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Whatever, if you're not doing whatever it is that you need to do behind closed doors, whether that's making sure that you're mentally and emotionally good, or whether that's making sure that you're physically good or even spiritually good, denying those bad habits by being able to do what's necessary to build better and good habits to make sure that you're good within yourself, then how are you going to be able to be the best version to those around you? How are you going to be the best version to yourself, And this job just basically forced me to get real with myself. And once I finally looked in the mirror, but this time without a mask or a costume on anymore, and I really just saw Marsha for real, I was amazed yet so crushed all at the same time. And I say that because, now looking through the lenses as an adult compared through the lenses of when I was a little girl, those same things that I despise about myself, and I don't mean just on the physical aspect, because physical looks are fleeting, but really when I was really looking inside who I really was inside, what God has placed within me and how he really made me and what he given me, I was just, taken aback and just in awe and amazement by how beautifully made I really was. And then all the guilt and shame just started to pour back in because I realized that I allowed all this time by allowing this negative voice in my ears to breathe in all these lies by what I thought I had to become instead of really just being authentically me. And all the games that the devil played to mess with me mentally, God was able to reveal and remove one by one until there were no more. And once I realized that I didn't want to play dress up anymore or live in a false reality and finally put my foot down, God then took my hand and he held it and walked with me. step by step, he was able to help me unlearn all these lies and negative things, and teach me all the good and positives to life. And he was then able to help me tap back into who I really was and find the lost joys of things that I really loved right before things went left and changed for me. And then from there, I was able to finally just start really just dating myself. And every day, I just felt more and more in love with who I truly am. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true love story. Well, my love story. Definitely comment down below if you can relate to, a time or place that God was able to take you through some type of discovery. As always, I really pray and hope that you guys do have a blessed day, and love you guys.